And we're live. Here we go with 0 people watching at the moment, but I'm sure people
Sweet. Do you
log
remember?
on momentarily. I'm going to throw a little banner across the bottom so that people know what we're talking about tonight. We're going to talk about online vinyl purchases.
Yeah, and for some of us that don't have a lot of stores around, that's kind of what
Yeah.
you got to do.
So eBay and Discogs, Amazon, etc. There we go. Let's throw that up across the screen here. There we go. Now people know what we're talking about.
Sweet.
We got 5 people watching us. Let's see who's in the peanut gallery here. Music Talk with John.
Hey.
And Texas Safe and Sound Audio Excursion. How you doing, sir?
Hey, David.
The magic radio voice.
Yeah.
I swear David does the best podcast episodes.
He's got the voice.
He does. And then I listen to my podcast episodes and I sound like an idiot.
Oh, come on.
I'm due to do another one of these days. I just haven't found a suitable topic. So
yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, what a great idea, right? Getting everybody
awesome
to
idea.
do something.
I love it.
Like, yeah,
I love it.
And then I just listened to that one where he interviewed the other podcast guys.
That was
great. I didn't even know that existed, so that was extra awesome to learn that there's even more content for me to, listen to, absorb.
I'm not generally a podcast guy, to be quite honest. I don't have the time to. I spend a lot of time on my car driving, but I'm always listening to music, and I never think to download podcasts, and I don't stream anything. So the vinyl podcast is the only one I listen to. So
it's the only one that matters. But yes, there might be some other ones out there.
Exactly.
It's good to know there's at least one other one out there.
That's right. John says he's on his way to get some good old Sonny's barbecue. I don't know what that is. I'm hoping that's real barbecue. There's so many types of barbecue. I got this funny story. So I used to work for a company that was headquartered in North Carolina. And funny enough, I still work for a company that's headquartered in North Carolina, just a different one. And I'm this like 22-year-old guy, 23-year-old guy at the time. And they flew me down to North Carolina to do something just after I started with the company. And I'm green as green could be. My first time as an international traveler, other than when I went to Europe when I was in university, whatever. But first time business traveler, whatever. And so go down to North Carolina, and I worked for a paint company. So the good old boys that worked in the lab were all excited that one of the Canadians was coming down. So we're going to take you out for lunch. Do you want some barbecue? And as the naive Canadian, I'm like, yeah, meat fire sounds like a great idea. Little did I know that that's not what barbecue is in North Carolina. It's like this. It's like pulled pork slop in this like ketchup and vinegar slush. It's disgusting. I wouldn't feed it to a dog. No disrespect.
It sounds great. It's sauce.
No, it's disgusting. And so we go to this restaurant and they take me to this place in the country that's like dueling banjos kind of deal, right? And this large woman in a muumuu comes out, and the good old boys I was with are just laughing their ass off because this was the reaction they were hoping for. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on, right? Yeah. So whenever someone says they're going for barbecue, I'm always skeptical. I'm like, what does that mean?
You have to clarify. You need
right?
to know.
Because it's a Canadian barbecue is something different. So
yeah.
But then there's barbecue in like St. Louis or Tennessee or whatever, and that's a different kind of deal. So
yeah, I feel like the states have every state has their claim to culinary fame.
Right.
And in Canada, the provinces, there really isn't.
Unless you're talking poutine in Quebec.
Yeah, that's about it, right? That's really the only example.
Which I'm not a big fan of, in all honesty. My wife loves it, but I'm not a big fan.
It either, but I think we're the odd people that don't. But
yeah, you could be right on that. For those joining us, Sam's going to be a couple of minutes late, as usual. He's in hair and makeup because he's got to look nice for the girls and the boys or whoever wants to, think he looks cute. So he says he'll be running a few minutes late because they're having trouble with his hair today. So
I see right out of the gate here in the comment that Cardboard Head guy, the new Stones album. What is the deal there? This is brand new music by the Stones. Is that what I heard? I didn't read the article. I just saw a
Yes.
headline.
I'm not a Stones guy, so I heard it and went, whatever, I don't care.
I know, but it's like momentous that they
It's
would
their
put
first
something
album.
out.
It's like their first album in 18 years, I think I read, something like that.
Wow. I wonder if Charlie Watts is on any of the songs, if they had already
I
laid
heard
them
he's on
down,
some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Big
that's
shoes
just
to
that's
fill
one of
there.
those bands I could just never get into.
I
Never
was
did.
I think it was it Bianco? Was it you that did? No, yeah, maybe it was. They did they're doing a series on like epic sides to albums. Oh, I think it's Tim at the University of Vinyl Epic Sides, and he did Tattoo You.
Oh yeah.
And which I always kind of ignored because it was like, oh, that's the one with Start Me Up. Everyone knows Start Me Up. And then I watched this video and I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. So I put that side on. I was like blown away. I was like, holy shit, I didn't know the Stones were pumping it out like this, because all I know is like their big hits, right? Like most people, they just recognize the radio hits. And yeah, just one of those bands that's been around forever, whose back catalog does not get pushed to the forefront enough.
True.
Yeah.
I see Music Talk with John in the comments is trying to give himself some self promotion, where he says that we don't need any more content other than watching him talk about music on his riding lawnmower. So I told him that was inventive, but I said the minute he starts doing music on the crapper, I'm out. Nobody needs to see that. So.
Awesome. Yeah,
What else we
Marsha.
got here? Hi,
Tattoo You,
Marsha.
great album. Yeah. I was late to the game on that album, but now I want it. It's funny. I passed it up twice in bins too. I was like, Start Me Up, whatever. I don't really need it. But now I'm gonna find it again, and I'll need to keep it.
Now it'll be you won't be able to find it, because whenever you decide
Yep.
I've seen that 6 times and passed on it, and then it's forever till you find it again.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, and I was trying to catch up with your and Sam's videos today, and your flea market video. That was really good. Great idea, by the way. Also, like the Gord's Gold, like that. I'm surprised with Gord passing that it's not harder to find, but he's still out there in all the bins. Like, there's quite a few albums. I don't know if Canada just pressed a shit ton at the
I
time or
think we
what,
probably
but
did.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we probably did. It was one of those that I needed, and I've got a bunch of his studio, like 3 or 4 or 5 of his studio albums or whatever. It was one of those, I kept seeing it. I'm like, I'll pick it up one of these days, but I didn't want to pay $40 for it or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Nope,
And as
knowing full well that it's always there for cheap, right?
Right. And as I said in my video, I don't often. Oh, here's Sam, fresh out of hair and makeup. Look out, ladies! Oh, look at him there. Woof.
Hey, Sam.
Still are they fellas?
900 subs.
Too hot for this live stream.
I'm good. I am just finished up eating some stuff, so I'm here.
You just missed me trash talking North Carolina barbecue.
I agree. I'm not a vinegar guy. And
thank you.
So this is the thing. Rob wasn't making stuff up.
No, and it's funny because being in Virginia, I mean, we have a conglomeration because there are different types of North Carolina too. There's like Eastern and there's Western, centralized. Some of it's more mustard based, which I hate mustard. But I'm more of I want it to be smoky, maybe a little bit of heat. I guess Memphis style more so. Because like Kansas City, it's kind of dry.
Yeah.
And, I'm more of a Memphis guy.
I shared with Jason the first time I went down to North Carolina when I was working for the one coatings company, and we were headquartered in High Point.
Yeah.
And I came down to High Point. I was like 23 years old, whatever. And it was my first trip down there. I'd been with the company a couple of weeks, and I was greener than green. I don't know what the hell was going on. And so a couple of the good old boys in the lab decided that they would get a laugh at the Canadians' expense. And they said, do you want to go for some barbecue? And being a Canadian, that to me is meat that has been put on fire, right? Like that's
called grilling in the South.
Well, I didn't know that. So they take me to this backwoods barbecue place on Business 85, just outside of High Point. And it, like, dueling banjos, kind of like backwoods, like, and they serve me this slop, and I'm like, what is this? And they all just.
What's Virginia known for?
Ham, Virginia ham.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
right.
salt. It's a salty Southern ham. So that's the big thing, and I think that's probably the big thing. And we have a lot of we have like a lot of like apples. So we do like some like apple orchards and that sort of thing too. But yeah, ham is like if you were to label a state with a food, we're ham. But
And we were remarking up here that's not a thing. Other than poutine in Quebec, there's no Ontario food or BC food or.
Oh, really?
No.
Nothing regional.
Nope.
Nothing regional. No. It's such a melting pot of culture in general that like every city's got everything you need from every culture, but but there's not one province that's known for doing this the right way. Right. And it's funny when it comes to food too, like way off topic, obviously, but you know, people always say, oh, you got to go to Italy to get the best pasta. You got to go to India to get the best Indian food. But, you know, a buddy of mine who's hardcore Italian was like, the world's caught up. Like everyone knows now how to do it right and do it this way. So yeah, you can get the best stuff anywhere, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I always try to, you know, wherever I go, I always try to hit a local place depending on where I'm going. And with North Carolina, I have to be careful with barbecue. I mean, again, that's kind of what they're known for. But like, you know, if I go to Nashville, I'm going to get their spicy chicken, like the fried chicken.
Yeah, man. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. You got to go. That's funny because like, that's like a Nashville thing. That's not necessarily Tennessee.
Right.
So it's, you know, it's citywide. I'm trying to think like if there's any other, I mean, yeah, New York. I mean, obviously New York pizza, New York subs, and that sort of thing. That's not an American thing as a rule. It's a New York thing. Or Chicago, their pizza.
Their deep dish. That stuff's pretty amazing too.
Yeah. So I'm trying to be good about what I'm eating. I had a really trash weekend with Labor Day. Just all sorts of. We went. We say it's camping. It's not really camping. We're in air conditioned cabins and everything, but we bring all these snacks. Like there was candy sitting out all over these tables, and cookies and pretzels and chips and just stuff like that. It's like I was like not even listening to my calories this week, and so like that was.
Jesus, Sam, you're gonna get bigger, and the ladies are gonna lose interest, and you're not gonna get past 900 subs.
Yeah, I know. I have a lady story either for tonight or another day, but that's neither here nor there.
I want to know? Did you meet up with Glenn on his way back home?
No.
No.
Old boy couldn't get here in time.
No.
Well, see, it was what was kind of cool. I went to a concert last night in Charlottesville, which is about 2 hours northeast of me. So I was driving right past the exit where Glenn was going to be staying in a little truck stop community called Rafine, Virginia, which is about an hour and a half from my apartment if I was just to go there to see him. And I told him, I said, I'll drive the hour and a half just to hang out and get something to eat with you on the way down. But he didn't tell me on the way down because they were in a rush. I think they were just beat when they got there. And so he was emailing me and was saying essentially like if I don't hear from him between 4 and 5, that it's not going to happen, that they're running behind. And but what was cool is, again, I saw a concert. My boss was supposed to see the same concert, the same band tonight. We're playing in Raleigh, North Carolina, but actually the band canceled the rest of their dates for the tour for the lead singer's mental health. So I saw the last show of this year, apparently.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
But she knew I was going, so she let me leave the hour early because she's cool like that and loves music. So she's like, yeah, just get out of here at 3 instead of 4. So I was actually passing by the exit from Glenn's about an hour before, but I never got an email from him anyway. So I don't know what time they got in.
That's unfortunate.
Super cool trip. I saw his videos there. That was pretty awesome. John, obviously you're watching there. That was a pretty cool experience.
I didn't envy them eating out on the screened-in porch. I looked very, very hot in Orlando. I mean, if it's like today, I mean, this live stream's kind of become just our day-to-day lives, which is kind of cool. But I always try to go for a walk at my lunch break, and I walk about 40 minutes. And I always bring an extra shirt to change into. It's not my work shirt. And I was walking so slow today because it was so hot, and I'm still like in my work slacks. So like I'm not exactly like completely like an athletic wear. But I did my walk around this. It's a gravel, probably about a quarter of a mile track. I'm able to do it twice and then do like a little bit more before the 40 minutes is up. And I took my shirt off to like put on my work shirt, and it was just like, I mean, I was just drenched. Like I was like even like, you know, like trying to dry myself off. I put on my work shirt and like immediately went through that too. So like I'm sitting at work like just murder because the humidity today was it was adding like an extra 10 degrees.
Wow.
It was brutal, and I think we're supposed to get more of it throughout the rest of the week, and then rain this weekend.
So, yeah, same here. Same here.
I'm ready for October to get here and to not turn around.
I'm in no rush for winter because I hate snow. So
yeah, we'll see. Last year we didn't get any. We got like a dusting here, but we didn't get a full on snow. We usually get 1 or 2 in like January and February.
Do you get much where you are, Jason? Because you're a couple hours north of Vancouver, right? So are you like Vancouver? You're not like the Lower Mainland where they don't get anything.
No, I'm like, if you picture the province, I'm like halfway up the province. So like we're kind of at like Edmonton sort of latitude.
Right. So you get a shit ton there.
Yeah, we can get a fair bit. It's funny, our little town is in kind of almost got a greenhouse effect going on where the mountains kind of protect a lot. So we still get a lot of snow, but just outlying areas just outside of town, like 30 minutes away, we'll get like twice as much.
Wow.
But yeah, we'll get dumps of 2-3 feet here.
Yeah, same here. I hate it.
Yeah.
Hate it.
Yeah,
lived in it all my life, and I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
So,
but it's so mild here, right? So it's like one of those cold chill to the bones, and I'd rather be like cold and dry and like super below zero, but this is always like 1 or 2 degrees above zero, and then it's just messy and slushy and gross, and you always feel disgusting. But
hate it.
On
that note, are y'all football guys? Are y'all going to be watching football?
What's football?
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, Sam. I don't know much about sports.
No, I'm not a sports guy either. I'm not like Glenn or Rich. I'm not that kind of guy at all. But I was a big Patriots fan because I'm a big Tom Brady guy. But I'm kind of this year.
You're a music guy.
I am a music guy. Yeah, sports are not even like my 3rd or 4th favorite thing to do.
Tell me about your Dan Auerbach song there. What's that from?
It's from his debut album. And I want to say that album was the whole album is very it's not all like that. I mean, there were some more, interesting. I mean, more upbeat songs and stuff. The actual album is called Waiting on a Song. I couldn't remember. Actually, Aaron Mutha Alamer was the one who gave me the record on vinyl. And what was cool, and I remember when I first opened it, on the back of the cover, it's Dan Auerbach, again, the lead singer of the Black Keys, sitting on a porch with like all these people up and down the staircase. And then like if you open the gatefold, it's kind of like Sgt. Pepper, where it's like labeled like who the people are, but it's like, it's just like a silhouette. It's not them. But one of the people that was in that group was John Prine. And I saw that and come to find out the title track was co-written with John Prine.
Oh, nice.
Who
right up
Dan
your alley.
Auerbach worked with on John Prine's last album. He co-wrote a song with him. So, but there were some great session guys on there. It's a really good, it's not like Black Keys. It's not like garage rock or anything like that. It's really, really cool. And I just re-listened to it recently about a month ago and was like, yeah, it's a pretty good song. So that was one I wanted to cover. Yeah, it's a good one. Check out the album.
That's definitely a cool takeaway with vinyl in particular, and I guess CDs too, is that you get to look at the artists that are involved in the album. And just like you said, I actually have I think it's Eric Clapton, might be his debut solo album, and he's got the silhouette on the back and like numbers depicting who actually is on. It's pretty cool. But you get to learn a lot about session musicians, and you get kind of like the jazz world where you have people that are just playing on everyone else's album, and I always really admired that. Yeah.
That's how I always tell people to get into jazz. If they like anything by Coltrane or Bill Evans or something like that, like look at the session guys, because chances are they've had their own illustrious career. I mean, like Elvin Jones and
Ron Carter,
even Thelonious Monk. I mean, he was playing with those guys early on. Bill Evans, played on So What. He's the one that played the piano on this, on Kind of Blue. So, yeah, that's the easiest way to get into jazz, and then you just keep expanding that ripple effect.
Yes, also called a rabbit hole and financial trouble. Yes,
and indeed, yeah, it is a rabbit hole, which is what I get into all the time on YouTube when I'm supposed to be working.
Yeah,
but
guilty as charged. Me too.
Yeah, it's been it's a dangerous game, YouTube.
as we all know.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, we came up with the idea, everybody, that we would talk about online vinyl purchases, be it stuff we've bought off eBay or Discogs or Amazon or whatever. We'd share some of our favorite picks. We might whine about some of our misses, and maybe throw in some tips or pointers along the way. So we all thought that was a good idea because we've all bought a fair amount of stuff over the internet. So that's the topic for tonight. So did you guys pull some records or anything you guys want to show?
Yeah, I've got not a whole lot of, because I buy most of my like CDs and stuff online, but a lot of the stuff, about 5 or 6 things that I found have some stories behind them. So yeah,
you got some stuff too, Jason.
I got a couple things, yeah, for sure. I'm still
I got a
pretty new
little
to that.
here too.
And I'll say, I'm looking at the comments now. I'm going to make a correction from Music Talk with John, who is talking about the song Death Wish, which is not by Jason Aldean, who can go shove something up himself. It is Jason Isbell that you're talking about, John, who is completely against everything Jason Aldean stands for. But
I wondered if John did that on purpose just to piss you off.
He probably did.
He's at home sipping his whiskey like, ha, 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 ha. Yeah. As he does, because he's got nothing else to do.
That's right. But anyway. Which one of you guys wants to go first?
Go ahead, Sam. I left mine in the other room. I have to go grab them. But
well,
all right, Sam's got to go first then.
I'll start. I guess this is going to be kind of a again, I'm not going with great picks or bad picks. I'm just going to kind of talk what I have. And this album covers a lot of issues that I have with online ordering, especially when you don't know what the packaging is going to be. So I happen to pick one of my favorite albums, Sweetheart of the Rodeo.
Of the Rodeo, yeah.
It's in my top 50, maybe top 25 favorite albums of all time. Again, country rock classic, even though it's not really rock. It's a rock group doing country music. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The issue at hand is that this comes in what people have called a jewel case, which is plastic. And what happens in plastic when a shipping company does not put it in a correct package is that it is in a thin piece of plastic or cardboard, whatever it might be, and it's going into an Amazon truck, a post office, whatever. And let's say the item on top is a big old heavy dumbbell that somebody's ordered. It's just going to sit right on top. So if you can see in the corner there, ish.
Yeah, I see it.
It is a crack. And I could, if I were to like do this, it will go down. Like it is like 2 layers of a crack. Not only that, but the top here is very warped. And I have a few other CDs. I didn't pick all of them, but I have many CDs that when you lift off the cover, it just comes right off because these little brackets,
the tabs are broken. You same here.
Yeah. And so my thing is now, unless I am guaranteed that this item is in a digipack or one of those cardboard sleeves, which won't crack, their issue is that they'll bend possibly, but not very often in my experience. Do not order digipacks jewel cases online because they will crack. You don't know what this is going to be under. Like I said, it could be a big old microwave that somebody's ordered. They don't care. They just throw it in there. And this might be the only CD in the package. And so there's no protection. And I could have pulled dozens of CDs that I've ordered that are cracked, and I will never order. And sometimes I get frustrated when it's a new album, which I'm like, oh, that artist, like for example, for years, Willie Nelson was putting out albums. I'm a big Willie Nelson fan. Was putting out albums all in the cardboard sleeves. So I was like, okay, his new album's obviously going to be in the cardboard sleeves, given. And a lot of times it's not labeled online with the specifications. And so sure enough, I ordered one of his latest albums. His last 2 have actually come out on jewel cases. Thankfully, neither of them have come damaged, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I either have to buy those CDs in stores now or just be 100% sure that it is not this. Which, to kind of bring in some new news with the Rolling Stones announcement today of their new album, I see on their website you can either buy a jewel case for like $2 less than the cardboard sleeve, which I think comes with like a few extra like photos or something in it. So
Mm.
if I order it online, I'm probably not. I'm probably gonna buy it in the store. But if I do, I would rather spend the extra $2 and not have that issue. So anyway, that is one example of dozens that I could have chosen that really, really ticks me off. So there's that.
That's a fair one. That's a fair one. Same goes for vinyl, right? I mean, I've received many vinyl records that got jostled around in the sleeve and they've got seam splits or whatever. Same thing. Yep. That's the one risk you take when you order stuff online. How well is it going to be packed? So,
yep.
What do you got, Jason? You got any cautionary tales or any cool finds you want to share? Any good stories?
I think I kind of alluded to this in one of my videos there. I think that first one, and this is Pink Floyd's Metal, probably my favorite Pink Floyd album. But it's important for a lot of reasons. But Echoes was a pretty big song for me in university, like a lot of people, I'm sure. But so I really wanted the album. I knew I wanted it, and this is right when I started collecting. And right when I started collecting, I pretty much got right into Discogs right away, and I was learning that system and learning how things work. And one of the first things I was told was, yeah, just because it's in Discogs doesn't mean it's the actual or it's the actual one that you want or whatever. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I didn't think much of it. Sure enough, I do all this research on Hoffman forums and trying to figure out what is the best one to have, right? What is the best pressing? Because I got all wrapped up in that, and I'm still wrapped up in that mentality of trying to find the best sounding one that I can afford. And so the reviews came back pretty consistent that there's a UK pressing with HTM in the dead wax, so Harry T. Moss, which I take it. And if David, you're still watching, maybe you know who that is, I guess. But apparently all of his mastering is really good and sought
highly
after.
regarded.
So,
yep.
Yeah. So I was like, I want to get the HTM in the dead wax. And a lot of the ones on Discogs are labeled at, in the notes section. This one doesn't have it. Like it's so it's so important that people will say, look, don't get this one. This one doesn't have it. Sure enough, the guy I bought from, he didn't, he wrote down the matrix numbers. It said HTM. And in the notes section, didn't say anything about whether it was or wasn't, Harry T. Moss, but I ended up buying it. I was so stoked when it got here. It was the first album I ever bought, like through the mail or anything, right? And it was an important one. It was really good. And I opened it up. The cardboard's like this nice thin, like UK cardboard from that era, right? I think it's like a second pressing. But unfortunately did not have HTM, and I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, I put all this effort in, my first purchase, my first time actually digging into the dead wax stuff and learning matrix numbers and all the codes and everything. And I got totally, I wouldn't say screwed, because the album still sounds great, but now I'm always going to be wondering, well, what's the HTM one sound like, right?
Yeah.
Would there be an audible difference? I don't know. Maybe not, and maybe not on my system especially, but that was the big cautionary tale for me was, when you're buying through Discogs or eBay, I've never bought through eBay, but like get the pictures, get the guy to send you some updated pictures, because there's a lot of great entries in Discogs that have highly detailed pictures, but even then, like who's to say that that picture isn't something he just grabbed from somewhere else and put it in there as one of their own? I don't know, but I would say that if you're buying off Discogs or anytime you're buying from someone in particular, just get an updated photo. Make sure whether it's a matrix code or whether it's something weird on the cover of the album, get a picture of it before you commit. Because, I contacted the seller. He was nice enough to respond to me, but he wasn't going to do anything for me. But what a dick. Come on, man.
Very true. I have bought a couple hundred records off eBay and Discogs easily. I mean, and that's probably an underestimation. And knock on IKEA wood, I've been very, very fortunate. I only ever got burned once, and it was something that was only $12 anyway. And the guy closed his account before I could lodge a complaint with eBay, so I couldn't get refunded. Whatever, it's $12. Never been burned, thankfully. Everything I've got is as described. And I think, part of that is luck, for sure. Part of it is I make sure that whoever I'm purchasing from, most important thing, check their feedback, their rating score, whatever, whether it's on Discogs or whether it's on eBay, they both have it. If someone's only sold 12 records, I don't care if all of them are positive. I'm probably not buying from them. They've sold 3,000 or 4,000 records and it's 95% positive. I feel a little more comfortable buying from somebody like that. So I always make sure, that's my tip, is I always make sure that they have feedback and a lot of it, and that it's positive. And also make sure that you're probably paying with PayPal. That's the best recourse, because they have if you get screwed, you can get your money back. So that's the good thing. I don't have any horror stories to show, but I have a lot of things that I'm very glad that I found. Some things that I wouldn't have been able to get if I didn't buy them on eBay or Discogs. I'm a big Beatles fan, and I'm, working on rounding up my original mono first pressings, and I'm almost there. There's a couple more that I need. And if it wasn't for eBay, I wouldn't have been able to track down all those, because I'm not going to find them in the wild in Southern Ontario, right? They're UK pressings from 50 years ago. So if I could, let me find a success story here. Well, since we're on the subject of the Beatles, and this is one I show frequently, but damn it, I'm going to show it again, because why have this if you can't show it? If it wasn't for eBay, I wouldn't have a butcher cover, right? Always wanted to own it. I've been collecting records since I was a teenager. I never went away from vinyl. I grew up with vinyl. I started buying vinyl before CDs. Always had it, and this was always the one that I wanted, and it took me probably 15 years to find a copy. And I bought it on eBay about a decade ago, before the prices got stupid. And yes, it's beat up. That's fine. Yes, it's got seam splits. Yes, the record is scratched, but I don't own this to listen to, right? I have other copies of Yesterday and Today that are playable, that are fine. This is just because it's a butcher cover. Yes, it's peeled. Yes, it's not been a great peel, but I don't really care about it. I just wanted to own one. And I think I paid less than $200 for it, which for me, that was fine. And had it not been for eBay, I wouldn't have it. So probably my favorite eBay success story. So.
Would you be interested in another butcher cover, but the one with the stick-on cover?
Oh yeah.
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 You see Noble Records put up that they got one in. I think they were putting it up this weekend.
Oh, wow.
I wonder that'll go for like $1,000 probably.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, it hadn't been peeled or anything, but like you could see.
Yeah. Yeah. I always hope to find one of those someday, but I've got one, and I prefer that it's a peeled version, because the second state unpeeled ones, that's cool, but you really gotta,
Yeah.
From 5 feet away, you can't really tell. So what the hell's the point? I want one that's peeled so that I can look at it and go, yeah. So that's my favorite. That's my favorite eBay acquisition. Shall we say?
What was first? Was eBay around way before Discogs? Was Discogs relatively recent?
Yeah, eBay. I remember buying stuff on eBay in about, probably like 2001. That was even before PayPal. Like, you'd have to pay by like money order. I remember going to the bank to get a friggin' money order and sending it to somebody, because it was before PayPal. And then I think Discogs has only been around in like the last maybe 10 years as a commercial marketplace. I could be wrong on those dates, but yeah, I remember it was just after I got out of I graduated university in 2001. And it was like maybe the year after that I started buying some stuff on eBay. So it's been a while. Jeez. Let's see what's in the comments here. John says I ship albums real good. Sure, he does.
Well, didn't he send you a Taylor Swift album?
He did. Yes, that's right. He did the Long Pond Studio session.
That's what he's referring to. Yeah.
I thought you were being a smartass, just making fun of me because I did a Taylor Swift video.
No.
It was a good video.
Thanks, man.
It was good.
Yeah, he did. He packed that incredibly well, and he was very nervous about it because he was texting me like, "What kind of mailer should I put it in?" and what should I do? And I said, I don't care about the shrink wrap. Open it up, take the records out, put them in behind the jacket, put it in a good mailer. If there's a room to slide another piece of cardboard on either side, do it. And he packed them excellent, for sure. That's got me in reference to something up a little bit higher. I've been selling with eBay for 20 years and Discogs for 8. Only had problems with eBay sellers. Yeah, I think that's probably true. I mean, I've sold a few items, but I would imagine that the Discogs sellers are probably a little more informed and a little more knowledgeable about what they're buying and what the process is than eBay is. So I could see having a few more issues with eBay buyers than Discogs buyers. So what do you got next there, Stan?
On eBay,
Yeah.
do you have the ability to chat like with the seller?
You can send them messages. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of cool that you can do that, especially like with Discogs or whatever, if you can exchange some kind of back and forth, and at least like if like at the Music Sanctuary's comment there, the 12 positive, I'd take a chance. Person has to start.
Oh yeah, that's what it's in reference to. Yeah.
And I get that, and that sometimes maybe I will take a chance, sometimes I won't. But having that ability to communicate, at least, hey, cool, you're not a bot. Awesome, let's buy something, right?
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Sam.
I think that's easier to do on Discogs because you got to remember eBay is an auction site, right? So Discogs, you just buy something, right? Whereas on eBay, they have buy it now on certain listings, and others are auctions that run for a certain amount of days, and whoever's the highest bidder at the end. So you could be conversing with someone on a buy it now, and someone could buy it now while you're still waiting on an answer. So there is that risk, but you certainly have that ability to ask questions. So you're up, Sam. What do you got for number 2?
This is it was kind of a pro and a con. Actually, I've got a couple of them like that. One of a group that I like a lot. They're called Mandolin Orange. They are a husband and wife duo out of North Carolina, and now they are called Watch House. They've changed their band name, but this is one of their last albums that they put out as Mandolin Orange. It's a live album at Austin City Limits from January of 2020, just before the pandemic. And they do all their songs on here, but when I bought this, because again, I think it's out of print, and I bought this, it was still new, still sealed, and I think between songs 2 and 3, there was a pause, like where like it's not a skip, but it was like it goes blank for about 5 seconds, and then it cuts into the song. And I was like, I'd spent $12 on this thing, and I was like, that's kind of, I expect that to be pretty perfect. So I contacted who was it through? I don't even think it was through Amazon, whatever record label this is. And I was like, hey, I just bought this CD, and it had a pause in it, and it was just, I expected it to be perfect because it was unopened. And I waited a couple of days, and again, I'm kind of upset because I just recently had another CD that had skipped on me. It was actually a Ringo CD, and this album again had that skip, and the company contacted me back and said, we're out of that record, like it's out of stock, it's not going to be remade anytime soon, like it's gone. And they said, we're sorry about the skip, but they went ahead and refunded me like the $13 and told me just to keep the CD. So again, all the songs play through perfectly. There's just like a 5-second pause between a couple of the tracks early on that isn't supposed to be there. It's almost like it was like just something was like mixed wrong, or I don't even know. It might not even been the CD. It might have been just how the CD came out. But I was happy with that. Again, I have it. It helps complete my Mandolin Orange discography. Again, I think it was their last official release as Mandolin Orange before they changed their name to Watch House the following year. And Yeah. So again, it was kind of a bummer that I got the CD and it wasn't perfect. Again, it was still sealed perfect, like with the hype sticker and everything. But the fact that the record company said it's out of stock, you can't get it again. So just take the CD and we'll give you back the $12 or whatever it is. So that was kind of a good thing. And again, I'm still happy to have this. Maybe one day I'll find another copy. I doubt it. I probably won't look that hard for it, honestly, because I don't listen to this much, because the songs are pretty much as they are on record. So it's not like you're getting anything different. But I'm happy to have it, and I'm happy that I got it for free. So
Nothing wrong with that.
nope.
What do you got there, Jason?
It was out of the Toronto area. I don't know if it was Cops Records or not, but it was like probably my first online purchase from like a record store. I don't know if I keep thinking it's Cops, but it's another like major one that has an online presence. And when I started collecting records, I told myself, oh, I'm just going to collect the ones that really mean something, albums I already know, and that,
That's how it always starts.
That's how it always starts, apparently. And anyway, so I went and ordered this Leonard Cohen's Greatest Hits, right? So this meant a lot because my mother had the tape and she would always play it in the car on the way to school and stuff like that. But so I needed a copy of it. And so when it came in the mail, I think there was another album that came with it. The other album was fine, but this one had a pretty serious warp in it. And I phoned the store and they couldn't do much for me. It was brand new though. It was brand new sealed. So it was like the first lesson in learning that a brand new record is not necessarily pristine. Like we're talking like within the first month of collecting records. So I really didn't know anything. So when I saw the warp, I'm like, oh my God, well, this has to be an unusual occurrence that they'll definitely remedy, right? Like, but not remotely. Incidentally, I just picked up, I found for super cheap, like an old repress from the 70s. So it's actually a better copy, but this one, I can't let it go though. Like I think it's I forget what kind of press, who did this, but it's just a Sony Legacy one. But yeah, big warp in it, but the jacket's in pristine shape. So now I'm in that battle. Like you did that video about double albums. Well, this is one of my stories. Like I can't get rid of this one because this one means a lot and it's older, it's cool. And this one's more pristine on the outside. It's a better jacket, but the vinyl's almost unplayable because the warp is so drastic. But anyway, so that was my big takeaway from that one, was that brand new records. Hey, who would have thought that something brand new was broke already? But yeah, that was kind of a pain in the butt. I don't hold any ill will towards whatever shop that was at all. Like, what are they going to do, right? Like, I know that I've had experiences with good experiences, but bad in the sense that I had a damaged record. I think it was it might have been Eddie Vedder's Ukulele Songs, and it came and it was pretty bloody warped, and I was quite upset about it because that's like my number one favorite band. But they were super cool. It was like, okay, cool. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a picture of the album. You're going to take a picture of it after you've scratched the hell out of it and destroy it. And then once we get that, we'll send you a new one, which was like, it was so painful to do that to a record. Like just was basically just crying and using a knife and cutting with this wax. And I never want to do that again. But a good thing came out of it was good customer service, great communication, super fast. And you always like that, right? Like I haven't bought any of the Rhino stuff yet, but when the Rhino stuff came out, like the Cars album, and everyone's complaining about,
I got the Coltrane,
yeah, and the customer service and how slow it was to respond. That's a big pain in the ass. Eh? Like that's enough to make someone not want to buy from a specific vendor or company. Yep. If you can't communicate with me, then why am I giving you my time and my money? Like I want to be able to talk to someone. And so that was a big win. Like even for this one here with, I'll say it's Cops Records. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it was. I phoned the store, talked to someone directly. It was like beautiful. Like there's no hold, there's no wait. And then the Pearl Jam one, talking to someone through their outfit, and it was like instantaneous emails. Like there's some really good stuff. Acoustic Sounds, talking with them on the phone is a blast. It's like I totally nerd out with them. Well, it must be great to work there. What did you take home today? Like, do you get to pick whatever you want? So finding that connection with a vendor, whether and again, this is a little bit different for me because I live quasi remotely. We don't have any record stores here. A couple guys in town will have some used stuff off to the side, but it's not their primary focus. So connecting with record stores online is kind of difficult to do, but sometimes it happens and it's pretty rewarding.
Well, it's good. I got a similar story to both of those. I purchased something from an artist directly. There's a band out of, I think, California called Dirty Honey. And they're kind of like, they sound sort of like 70s rock, I guess. Awesome. I was blown away when I heard them. So I bought this record off their website. It's autographed, as you can see. All excited. Came in the mail. I don't know if you can see this, but the top is split.
Yep.
Significantly. The inner sleeve is split on the bottom, the back, and the top. And the record is scratched. And for some reason, you can't see it, but there's a piece of Scotch tape on the front of the cover. And I was like, all right, I'm a pretty easygoing, tolerant guy. I know I exude that. But I'm like, I paid like $50 for this record with shipping and everything. That's too much. So I emailed the band on their web store and I took pictures and I said, I've got, it's split on every seam possible significantly.
Oh.
The record scratch, there's tape on it. What can you do for me? And they said, well, do you want a refund or do you want another record? And I said, I'd love another record because this one's scratched. They said, no problem. We'll send you out a new one tomorrow and you can do whatever you want with the old one. So within 24 hours, they'd ship me out a replacement, which was packaged much better. It's here. It's flawless. No seam splits anywhere. Also autographed. And I didn't have to destroy the other one. So even though this is scratched, it plays fine. There's like one or two clicks or pops in there, but I have 2 copies. I don't need 2 copies, but for a small independent band, they were incredible for, being responsive to an issue with something from their web store and corrected it very fast without any hesitation or fuss or anything. So
what was the name of that band again?
Dirty Honey.
All right. Writing these down. That and Mandolin Orange. I'll be checking those out.
And for some reason I'm just now seeing Jason's name in the in the
Oh,
chat there. And it's funny, I since the stream started, I have lost a subscriber. So
no. God. Well, it wasn't me.
no, I was at one point I was up to 896 and now I'm down to 92 in the last few days. Yeah.
How does that happen? I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
That's
YouTube playing tricks.
900 is not going to be my number, I'm telling you.
What are you at, Sam?
892 as of 10 minutes ago. And I was 94 yesterday.
I'm sitting at 851 and it's like, I don't know. I thought my Taylor Swift video, I thought maybe some of the Swifties would latch on and I'd get 5 or 10 out of that, but no such luck. So let's see what the comments are saying. Curtis from Young LP Lover. Some of my problems have included poor grading. Yep. Seam splits. Yep. Counterfeit albums. I've bought a counterfeit album on purpose, but I've never received one. And warps. Yeah. Far too common.
Yeah. The grading really, like I said there, the grading really hurts because you just feel like you've been kind of lied to. It feels a little more personal. Like, you're telling me this is in really great shape and I get it and it's not, and you friggin' lied. Like, and I get it. It's very subjective and stuff, but I think if you've been around records for at least a year, you kind of know what you should be grading them at. And I really have a lot of respect for people. And like, I think Mike from the in-group says it a lot, that he's very conservative with his grading, right? Like if it's a VG plus, it's probably more like near mint or something like that. But
Alex from Beer and Vinyl is asking, do I want to sell him my bad copy of Dirty Honey? Tell you what, send me an email, northernrevolutions@gmail.com. If you pay for the shipping, I'll give you the record.
Nice.
I don't need 2 of them. It's a fantastic record. I love it.
What do you mean you don't need 2 of them? You just did a video saying you need 2 of everything. Wasn't that the point of
I
the
need
video
2. I need 2 of certain ones. And I even mentioned I did a video last year where I've got like 17 copies of Sgt. Pepper. And in my mind, there's a rationale for every one of those. But
Yeah, I can rationalize a lot.
Yeah, me too. James says he just pre-ordered Taylor Swift's 1989. I did not, because I did her last two pre-orders, and there was no benefit to pre-ordering it because it was 3 weeks late arriving, and I could have just bought it in the store. So I'm just going to buy it in the store. Which one did you get? Did you get the variants was the yellow one and the green one? Because I think the standard issue was blue. So I'm looking forward to that album, though. Subscribers have two channels. They can go through their subscriptions and see which they watch and which they don't and delete. Yes. Oh, I love you, man.
Nice.
Freaking love that record. Indeed. All right. Who is up next? Sam's up next.
That'd be me. It's funny. I got a message from my friend Tommy, who I talk about from Tommy's Musical Adventures, and we were talking about the Rhino issues, and I think he just ordered one of the Rhinos, and that is how his came.
Oh my!
You can see how bent it is, and he's got the seam split. So that's supposed to be all black, but you can see it. There's a seam split right there, and then there's the corner. You can see how bent it is.
Whew.
Oh wow!
Because they put it in those crappy thin mailers, and they're selling these things at $45. You know, so they're gonna get they're gonna get themselves a bad name. So I guess with that, I will talk about, again, good customer service again. I've told this story before, but this year recently they just put out Closing Time by Tom Waits for the 50th anniversary. It's his first album. Again, an album I would recommend to anybody that doesn't like Tom Waits. This is not a traditional Tom Waits record. It's more, like Randy Newman style singer-songwriter with piano and some acoustic guitar, but just like saloon ballads and like heartbreak songs. It's really, really good. And they just released this half-speed mastered at Abbey Road Studios. And I purchased the limited edition clear vinyl, which again was like 5,000 copies. There it is. It's clear, yada yada. And I get my copy of it, and the corner is just completely just smashed in. You can't even get the inner sleeves out. Like you had to it was like a battle to pull them out. And when you finally did pull the records out, the inner sleeves were torn on two different sides, and it was almost impossible to put them back into the sleeve if that's what you want to do. I mean, I store mine outside of the sleeve, but if you wanted to put them back in, there's just this crushed area. And I mean, this is an expensive record. It's a 2-record set, and it's 45 RPM. So I spent a lot of money on this because I love this record. And I contacted customer service and was like, "Hey, here's this, this issue that I got with this Tom Waits record. Can you help me out?" And so they kind of did the same thing that Jason was talking about. They said, "Send us a picture of the damage." And so I did. I sent a picture of the corner and of the inner sleeves. And they said, because this was, again, a limited edition, like 2,000 copies, we don't have anymore. It's sold out. They said, so we can send you the black vinyl as a replacement. And so I was thinking, and I'd already played the clear vinyl. I played through fine. There wasn't an issue with the vinyl. They said, keep that copy. It's yours. We'll send you the black vinyl. So I got the black vinyl through the mail. It was clean as a whistle. The sleeves were great. The corners weren't dinged up. And so I ended up Frankensteining the two. So, this is the cover that the black vinyl came in, and the inner sleeves are what the black vinyl came in. And I told him, again, talking about my friend Tommy, I said, I've got this Tom Waits record. And he said, "Oh, would you want to, sell it to me?" And so I said, "No, I'll just bring it down." So when I visited him and did my record crawl a few weeks ago, I brought that down and traded that. And I got a couple of his records for a really good price from his own collection. So we kind of traded around. But again, it was one of those issues where I got the record. I was devastated because it was so limited that I knew it was sold out and there's nothing that they could do about it. And they said, here's this free copy. that you can keep the old one, do what you want with it. And so again, I was very happy with that. And Tommy is happy with the black vinyl. He spun it. He says that sounds good too, because I never listened to that because I'd already Frankenstein the clear copy. So all in all, it was a good experience. But it was just, that thing was dinged up so badly that you couldn't even get the records in and out of the sleeve. So again, sometimes you have those moments in customer service. But my next item will be an issue where that was not the case. But stay tuned.
What do you got, Jason?
I want to know first. Okay, here's a big question, and the peanut gallery can chime in here too. For a guy who doesn't know anything about, obviously I know who he is, but I don't know the albums. I know like Picture in a Frame, but Tom Waits. Sell me on Tom Waits.
Well,
where to start? Is Closing Time where to start? Is that the first question?
Sam's the guy to sell you.
Start. Okay. So I mean, you're kind of like me with a lot of things, Jason. I mean, you like a good singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
And so this album, you're not one point of this album do you get Tom Waits's like
yeah, and that's kind of a hard sell, right?
You don't get his drunken pirate voice at all. This is, I mean, what is Tom Waits? And this is probably, I mean, you listen to him, you think he's lived 3 lives, but he's really probably younger than me. He's probably 25 on this album. But this is the album. The first song is Old 55, which the Eagles covered on their album. Was that Already Gone? Rob can tell me what album that's on. Old 55. But this has one of the saddest songs ever, and I do it on my live stream sometimes. Is I Hope I Don't Fall in Love with You, and so
that sounds brutal.
Oh well, Jason, it's so to give you an example.
It's like I Lied by Lord Huron.
It is. It's because again, Tom Waits is a character, kind of like Sinatra played like the drunken saloon singer, and that song, it's he's playing himself. I guess he's a guy at the bar, and he notices a girl across the bar who's with another guy, and so it's just him like fantasizing like I hope I don't fall in love with you because I see you, you're beautiful, you're perfect. And then like he looks up and like the guy has walked away. So he's like, is this my shot to go over there? But he's like, I could go over there and bum a cigarette from her. And like, that's my way in. And so then he turns, like the bartender says, it's closing time. The music's fading out. Last call for drinks. I'll have another stout. And then he says, I turned around to look at you. You're nowhere to be found. I searched the place for your lost face. Guess I'll have another round. Yes, I think that I just fell in love with you. It's like
Sam.
So Jason, if you listen to that song, you have a few beers with you and maybe smoke a cigarette. But it like when I broke up with my girlfriend last year, I listened to that song and just like killed myself. Like to it like just like this. Like I'm not a heavy drinking man, but like I felt like a drinking man when I was listening to that. And there's so many of those songs on here, but like I said, I was telling Jason, Robin, you went off camera. Old 55 is on this. It's the very first track from the Eagles. And he does a beautiful song called Martha, which is about him. It's about an old lover calling his old girlfriend, who he knows is married with kids. And he's, it's kind of like Operator, like by Jim Croce. It's like his version of Operator, except he actually talks to her on the phone. And this is the album to start with. You might be in tears.
There's so many things I want to say about that. Like, okay, here's a video idea. Like, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I have enough to do it with, but I always thought about talking about songs or albums, but mainly songs that I just can't listen to anymore. Like they're just there's too much of an emotional impact. The first one that I ever kind of didn't latch onto, but separated myself from was Boots of Spanish Leather, Dylan's song. I'm like, it's incredible, right? It like beautiful pieces of music. I Lied, Lord Huron. The Night We Met, Lord Huron is a pretty tough one. And then this Tom Waits one, which I'll probably listen to once and then you never do it again. But that's a great video, right? Like you could do a whole top 10 songs that are heartbreakers or something like that, right? And
yeah, I'm going to send you that just so that you don't forget, because I mean it is just it's a perfectly written song though.
Okay, so here's back to the topic then. We were talking about customer service. We're talking about, you know, where to buy records from. And I think, and like you had said there about going right to the artist website, the artist web store is usually a good call. So I'm thinking that, I think, Sam, you might know of this artist. Rob, I don't know if you do or not, but I can't remember how I found out about. Oh, I remember how I found out about her. It was like a girlfriend in high school that was kind of into female singer songwriter, and I was trying to like find her some different ones. Okay, yeah, so you like Sarah McLachlan and the whole Lilith Farah thing, if Rob, if you remember all that stuff. But so she was into that, and I was like, well, I want to find you a different one, right? So I just started, and this is back in the Napster days, so it was kind of hard to find new artists, but I found out Jillian Welch.
Yep.
So Jillian Welch, I went on her web store because I had streamed a couple songs off this album, and then I found it, and I would say it's one of the Harrow and the Harvest, probably one of my favorite albums I own. I would say it's top 10, like, if you know, Firebox items, this would be in there because the web store was super easy to deal with, no issues there. Album came perfectly, you know, packaged, and no issues at all with it. The cover is extraordinary. It's probably my top. It could be my favorite album cover I own. It's just amazing looking, right? Like great artwork, just insane. I think there might even be an album. I don't know if there's a black and white version of the album cover or not, but anyway, just beautiful stuff. Her and Dave Rawlings.
That's cool.
I could listen to that all day long. I think I'm the only one in the house that kind of enjoys it, but whatever. I put it on when I want to. But that first track, Scarlet Town, is just killer, right? And I guess the point is that I went to the artist web store, bought it from the artist. You know that the money is going to the right place and very minimal middlemen involved to take a cut. And I know that, you know, based off the artist alone, that they have a high standard when it comes to quality, not just in the recording process, but in the pressing process, and then clearly the jacket and the artwork as well. So again, another success story, I guess, of ordering direct from the source. I always do, like, you know, all my Pearl Jam stuff comes right through the 10 Club, and yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I have another eBay success story. I've had as I mentioned, I've had a lot of good luck with eBay. There is always a list of records in my brain that I've been looking for, trying to track down, you know, the grails, so to speak. Not all of them are, you know, I have others that are not grails, but I'm always on the hunt for. And what I like about eBay is if you're diligent and you search for them frequently enough, those elusive records that you're looking for will eventually pop up. More often than not, they're going to be expensive, but if you just keep at it and keep at it, you'll eventually find someone who doesn't really know what it's worth, and you'll be able, you know, you'll luck out. And that has happened to me dozens of times. And I'll give you an example. This is a record not a lot of people like, but that's okay. I love this album. It's an album I've only ever seen once in the real world, and that's the copy that I own. I've never seen it before. Just because it was such a limited pressing. I looked for it on eBay for 10 years.
10
and
years.
I was checking maybe twice a week for 10 years. And a couple times I saw it pop up and it was too expensive. And then after about 10 years, someone had it, didn't really know what it was worth. And I paid $50 for it. Aerosmith's Honkin' on Bobo. It's their blues album from 2004. Their second last album. A lot of people hate it. I love it. Only a few thousand of these were ever pressed. They're impossible to find. It's $300-400 if you can find it somewhere. And it took me 10 years for someone to have it and really not know what it was worth. And I snagged it for $50. So
I love how our hobby only gets better if we find people that don't have a clue about it. You know, like
yeah,
we are. It's not like we're preying on the ignorant, but it's really nice to go to a store where you find something that should be priced a lot higher, and you know, that's just the way it is, I guess. But I think,
well, and that reminds me of another story. There's a channel out there, a buddy of mine, Brian from Shamrock and Records. He did a video a year ago that he was in his local record store and he found an original first pressing of the Goo Goo Dolls' Dizzy Up the Girl, which he knew I'd been looking for forever. And his local store had no idea what it was worth. and he bought it for $20. It's a $200 record. And I'm like, you lucky son of a. He even said in his video, Rob, I know you want this, but I found it for a hell of a deal. So occasionally you luck out. I've never had luck like that, going through a record store, but on eBay, just, I keep looking for Sheryl Crow's Tuesday Night Music Club. I look 3-4 times a week on eBay. There's always a few there that are like $600. Now they're coming out with a repress, so that's fine. I'll buy the repress. But, like that one there, Honkin' on Bumble. It took me 10 years, and I finally got it for $50. So persistence, if you keep looking, you will eventually find it for, something that's probably within your budget. So one of my favorite eBay success stories. Let me get caught up on a few comments here. Tim, my best Discogs experience was my stance where I bought a copy of The Fireman Rushes when it came out, and the seller randomly included some promo items. There are some nice people out there. Yeah. Tim's a good guy from Ottawa. We've been chatting on Instagram. That man has a knack for meeting any celebrity you like. I mean, he's got pictures of himself he sent me pictures last week. He was, I bumped into Cheap Trick. I'm like, are you shitting me? He's got pictures with all 3 guys from Cheap Trick. He knows I'm a Bryan Adams fan. He goes, here's a picture of me with Bryan Adams. I told him he needs to do a YouTube channel. James, I'm going to order that record tonight. I just saw that variant, and holy moly.
On the border, that's where I couldn't remember what 055 was on the border.
Well, I could have told you that. The Eagles record, yeah.
Yeah, you were gone. You were already gone.
I was my son was supposed to be in bed an hour ago, and he is causing my wife large amounts of grief at the moment. So I had to, James says artists. I like when artists cover Tom Waits, but his own vocals on the border. Yeah. Tim says he never got into Tom Waits, but I've been diving into John Hyatt lately.
Tim, he's got a Hyatt-esque voice on those first 2 albums, and then The Heart of Saturday Night. So if you like, and that goes for you, Jason, if you like Closing Time, The Heart of Saturday Night, which is the follow-up, is very similar. Like, it's the same kind of style. So again, you're not getting, pirate drunken Tom Waits.
Nice. Alex says, I agree with Sam. That first Tom Waits record is good. It's a perfect place to start.
You're right, Alex.
And Alex said, I'm going to steal your video ideas. And I said to him, Alex, if you're going to steal them, you actually need to make a video. How long has he been saying I'm going to make videos? And he doesn't. We got Jason to do it. Now we got to get Alex to do it. Maybe we got to drag him up on a live stream or something.
Worked for me.
It's been a long time since Alex has shown his face. Yeah.
I know.
That dude talking about busy people. That dude's flying all over the country singing shows.
Is he? Lucky
man. Oh,
man.
yeah.
Bryce says, I've been listening to Tim Buckley lately. Great voice. What a talent. Writes good songs, plays mean guitar. Agreed.
Yeah, that's a guy that I knew about, and I knew he was very well respected. And I was going through this collection that I had access to. It's pretty awesome. And there's 2 Tim Buckley albums. I grabbed them right away. I'm like, sweet, I can finally get it. Like, one of them's Happy Sad. Roy, which one's the best ones?
I missed one of Roy's comments up here. He says he's got both mono and stereo versions of Sgt. Pepper that he got in 67. He can't believe I have 17 copies. Yeah, I have an original Canadian mono and stereo first press. I have an original UK first press. I have the anniversary box set. I have the mono remaster. I have the deluxe remaster anniversary edition, the 2LP one. I have the mid-70s Canadian marble vinyl press, or it's like a smoky marble color. I got the mobile fidelity one. I got a whack of them, and there's reasons. To me, each one of those is important to have because it's my favorite album. So there you go. Let's see here. James says he's got that album on CD. It came with a mini Hofner harmonica. Yeah, cool. I didn't know that. Curtis wants to know, any experience selling online? I just sold my first item on eBay. It was pretty smooth experience so far. Well, it's good. I sold a couple things on eBay like literally 20 years ago, and I've never done it since because generally when a record comes into the collection, it rarely leaves unless it's a Dirty Honey record that I'm going to send to Alex. Other than that, I've never sold anything on eBay, so I don't know. But
Yeah, good for you. I find that whole aspect super intimidating to get into the selling of things, right? Especially how picky we all are with packaging.
well, and to me,
But-
that would be the hassle, right? You got to make sure you've got all the pack materials. You got to pack it right, and then you got to take it to the post office and get it weighed and pay for it and all that shit. And I'm just
Sam, if you wanted to send an album like from Virginia to, I don't know, California, like how much does it cost you?
I know where you're going with this.
One LP.
I'm terrible at like VCLT stuff because of I'm too lazy to pack it up. But
Me too.
I don't know.
Note to everybody: don't send Sam VCLT.
Well, I'll send it I'll order it directly from a site and have it shipped to their address. But like pulling stuff because like I've got a few CDs that I've been waiting and like teasing Robert S. from Obscure Music that I'm going to send to him. It's probably been a year and they're still sitting in my bedroom. But I don't know, packaging now for one record, I'd probably spend between $5 and $10 to send it across the country.
That's insane. Rob, what the hell?
So Jason and I being up in Canada, we face two problems. Shipping stuff within Canada is stupid expensive. Shipping stuff across the border is stupid expensive times two. It's insane. And
It's
you know,
so
as we buy stuff off eBay or Discogs or from an artist store, we're oftentimes, you know, if it's a $30 record, you're paying more in shipping than you pay for the record because it's shipping and then the exchange rate and you're paying customs at the border. It's stupid expensive, but just postage alone. If I were to send Jason something, I live about a third of the way in from the East Coast, and Jason lives like basically
right on the West Coast.
Yeah. Basically in the Pacific Ocean. So Jason's about 3,000 kilometers from me, 2,500 kilometers. I don't know what that is.
Oh, more than that. Yeah.
Yeah. At least 3,000 kilometers. It would probably cost me $75 to send you a record, I would imagine.
Really?
$50 maybe. I don't know. It's stupid expensive. Yeah.
I would have guessed $35 probably to ship you in a good box.
Well, yeah, I guess it depends on the weight of how heavy you pack it.
I'm gonna ship you a record like just the cover with nothing in it, just to try it out because we'll see.
It'll be some VCL. What the fuck is this? So, yeah, it's shipping is an issue for us for sure. Let's see what we got here. Music Sanctuary said I had the same issue finding a copy of Tom Cochrane and Red Rider live with the Edmonton. That is a great record. I don't own it. I love Tom Cochrane. I would love to get that album. I've never even seen it out in the wild. I see a lot of Tom Cochrane and a lot of Red Rider, but that's one I never see anywhere. That's a great record. Tom Cochrane lives like 45 minutes from me.
Is he another one of your musician buddies?
No, I don't know. I don't know him. I know someone that knows him, but I don't know him myself. Do you guys need to hear Don Felder's Airborne album from '93? I like Don Felder. That guy kind of gets a bad rap for being the guy that got fired from the Eagles. I think he got a raw deal. I really did.
He played here a few years ago.
Yeah, did you go?
No, I wasn't fully into him. It was, I didn't want to spend $100 to see Don Felder.
Fair enough. But Tim says, I still toy with the idea of starting a channel. Got cold feet. Look at us idiots doing it. I mean, even Jason's finally got on board. So
even this idiot got it.
Do it. Do it.
It's a blast.
It is. It's
I don't know how Melinda Murphy does it. Like she replies to every bloody comment. And
right?
I'm trying to reply to every comment. And she's got like 400 videos. Or
speaking of Melinda Murphy, I commented on her flea market video the other day because I was watching it as I was uploading my flea market video.
Nice.
And I said something and she replied and she goes, by the way, I love your Wednesday live chats. I'm like,
Ah, nice.
well, thank you, Melinda. I'm honored that you watch them from time to time. So
Yeah. Yeah, she's awesome. One of the
yes.
gems of the VC for sure.
Alex says US mail's like $3.50 for a single LP.
Oh,
I mean, we're $30 minimum, depending on how far and how heavy you pack it. Give an example. Matt from Prime Analog Records sent me some records. I still have to do a video on it. I needed to digest what he sent me before I responded to it. But he sent me 5 records in a box, big enough to accommodate 5 records. And he said it cost him like $50 US to ship it from Florida to Toronto. And then I had to pay like $30 duties on it. It was insane, but it is what it is. I'm glad he sent them to me though.
Wasn't there a way around that? Like if he codes it as a gift, do you
Right.
not have to pay duties or something like that? Or
yeah, I think so. So.
There's some kind of loophole, I thought.
Yeah. Tim says, I have Mad World on vinyl. Tim, I'm surprised you don't have it signed because everything you have is signed, but it's got the different cover from the CD. Yes. That was the reissue. I have that as well. When they reissued Mad World, which is an incredible Tom Cochrane album, they used what the original cover was going to be. Fantastic record. It's one that has Life as a Highway, which our American friends would know. Not the shitty cover by the cowboy singing dudes.
Rascal Flatts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Shipping in the US is around $8. Man, I don't get it.
That is so great. Good
$8 a box with lots of bubble wrap, but it wasn't cheap. Yeah. Hard to say with Tim Buckley albums are so different. Maybe Goodbye and Hello and Saffronia.
Good to know, Roy. Thanks.
I ordered 2 copies of an album from Amazon, and they sent me one sealed and one already open. No problem with the open one. I've never ordered a record off Amazon. I've just now pre-ordered 2 records off Amazon. The anniversary reissue of The Darkness Permission to Land that comes out this month or next month, and the other one was Rumors Live, the Fleetwood Mac one. So it'll be my first Amazon vinyl experience. So we'll see how that shakes out. John says, I pick up free packing from my local recycling center.
They probably think he's crazy with he's like his GoPro, like, I'm taking cardboard.
The GoPro story.
I had a few beers at Sonny's. You might need to interpret my comments. All right. Music Sanctuary sent 1 record from Alberta to Nova Scotia, $23. There you go.
Still bad, but better than we thought.
How much is that Dirty Honey shipping going to be? I imagine it's probably going to be, I don't know, maybe $20. We'll work it out. I'll make sure you get the record. Don't worry. And
throw it over the falls. Nice.
Yeah, we'll discus it. You get on that little half bridge that's on the U.S. side, and I'll see if I can throw it across. Great live version sung by Tim Buckley of Sally Go Around the Roses. It's a must listen, in his opinion. Cool. We are proof that any idiot can have a channel. Absolutely. I represent that. Wow. Music Sanctuary was at the Tom Cochrane ESO concert. Lucky you. I wish. I've never even seen Tom Cochrane. He played in my hometown last summer, and I didn't. Or was it the summer before? Must have been the summer before. It was in the pandemic, and I didn't go because it was in the pandemic, and now I wish I had have gone. But shipping in the U.S., any LPs we have media mail, which is a base weight and a few extra coins. Wow. We do not have that because Canada Post sucks. Of course it's signed. Yeah, go figure. Everything you have is signed. All right. We got some more time. You got something else to show us there, Sam?
I do. This is probably the one that, like, I know that there's been a couple other people that have talked about this. This was a debacle when it came out. I am very fortunate that I have it, and it's a story. And again, fitting for today, because
I know where you're going with this.
It's my Rolling Stones in mono set that came out earlier. Was it last year or this year? Whenever it came out, beginning of this year. This is the Rolling Stones albums through Beggar's Banquet. Well, through Let It Bleed, and then there's an album of bonus cuts called Stray Cats. Very, very good set. It's well put together. Could have been a little bit better because the booklet is almost like a magazine. It's not hardbound, and for the price of this thing, it should have been. I actually almost bought this as an investment because I knew that it is good. It's only going to go up in price, and it has. But the issue was I bought it, and I've talked about this and complained. I ordered it through Amazon, I ordered it through Amazon because I got, Prime deals and everything, and, bought it for a little bit cheaper than it was originally advertised, probably by about $50 or so. And, I was getting the shipping information. It's approaching your place. It'll be there, whatever day it was. So I get a box at my door. It's exactly the size of what this set should be. I was excited. I picked it up. It's heavy. I was like, oh, yeah, here we go. This is going to be good. It's like, I can't wait. I cut into it. First layer is just, bunch of cardboard, and then I cut into it again. I see styrofoam like holding the corners in, but I see when I open it, I saw a bunch of cover song titles, and I'm like, this doesn't look right, and the colors didn't look right. So then I pull it out, and it's this huge double, like mega CD box set of Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 by Guns N' Roses. And apparently this happened to a lot of people that wanted the Stones and ended up getting CDs of Guns N' Roses, which to Amazon's credit, the box set was worth the same amount as the Rolling Stones. Because this, with the Guns N' Roses stuff, it came with a whole bunch of like trinkets and probably some of Axl Rose's sweaty bandanas or stuff like that, maybe a burnt cigarette. And I was like, that's ridiculous. And again, just like Tom Waits, this was limited to however many copies they put out. And so I'm like, oh, what is going to happen? At this point, I've got to talk to Amazon, not a small record label. So I contacted them immediately and told them the situation. I was being very nice. I was like, I got this Guns N' Roses set. It's a CD. It's not even the Rolling Stones. Like, it's not even like the Rolling Stones and mono CD set. Like, it wasn't like that thing. And the lady was like, oh, okay, we're going to have to transfer you to blah, 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 to customer service. So like a second level of customer service. So I talked to this lady, and I don't know if it was her first time ever using a phone or what the issue was, but I explained it to her 3 different ways. I was like, do you not understand? This is a limited edition vinyl set that is now sold out. I was like, I started like getting a little heated. I was like, I'm like, not only can I not get this back, but it's limited. Like, I won't be able to get this from anybody else. Like, I can't get it from you. I can't get it from anybody. And so I'm like, y'all kind of did me dirty here with like this huge price. I'm a loyal customer. I've bought tons of stuff from Amazon, but y'all like kind of screwed me on this. And so she's like, yeah, we'll do a refund on the Guns N' Roses thing and like give you your money back. And I was kind of like, I don't usually pry for extra, but I was like, this was a limited edition thing. I'm not getting anything in return. Little did the lady know that I went ahead and scheduled a refund anyway for the Guns N' Roses set. So that was already in transaction. I was just trying to get something from Amazon's customer service and like, we'll give you a credit. Even if it was like, we'll give you a $50 credit on Amazon, something. Cause like it was limited. That's the big thing. That's the key word. But little did I know, I think somebody online, it might've been John. I can't remember who it was, but said that Target was selling it and it was still in stock. So I went to Target's and I ended up getting it for like $100 cheaper through Target.
Wow.
So I ordered it. So this copy is from Target. But I'm like, I need to let Amazon know that they screwed me. So I was going through, I kid you not, this lady, after like this whole 30-minute rigmarole that I went through, was like, the best I can do for you is give you a $5 Amazon.
Oh my
God.
God.
To do that, I was going to have to go through like another 20-minute phone call. I said, you know what? I said, I've lost so much respect for you all as a company, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you keep your $5. I don't care. And I hung up. I was like, I am not.
You should have said to them, you don't understand. I am a YouTube heartthrob.
Right.
I will turn the masses against you.
Right. So God bless Target for coming through with this, set. Again, I think that when I bought it, they still had like 13 or 14 still in stock. So they weren't struggling for stock. And I got it. It was well shipped. The corners were fine. Nothing was screwed up about it. And it was a perfect thing. But Amazon, I was mad at Amazon for about 2 days, and I'm sure I probably ordered something else from them and still do. But just that one person at customer service, I think she just did not have the credentials to do anything for me and did not attempt to get me somebody with credentials. But here we are with the set, and
It all worked out.
It did work out, and it looks very stylish on my shelf. So,
Jeez.
Yeah, I went with Amazon for I wanted to get Hank Mobley's Soul Station, and I was so excited because it was discounted. It was, it's a classic jazz album. I'm trying to dip my toes into jazz. It's recommended as a good entry point for blah blah blah, and it was discounted. I'm like, sweet, it's like $20, free shipping. This is incredible. I'll never beat that deal. And it's Blue Note. So I thought Blue Note, oh, it must be the Kevin Gray. It must be the classic series. And sure enough, it got here, and it wasn't. I don't know who pressed it or whatever, but it was horrendous. It was in a bag. It wasn't even in a box. It was in an Amazon bag. It was thrown on my doorstep. The corner ding you showed earlier, same kind of thing. Big bend in the corner. The vinyl was cloudy, like it was like dirty, like it had, obviously it was still in the shrink, but it had, sometimes when they're in the shrink and they're in the shrink for years, then it starts to kind of, bend the record. So I could see before even opening the shrink that there was like a bow in it. I'm like, oh my God, this corner ding, it's bowed, pull that out. Not the mastering, not the pressing. I thought it was. It was just a gong show. Like, to Amazon's credit, and I don't want to give them any credit. They don't need any credit, but phoning them and talking to someone, as difficult as the conversation sometimes is, it's like, I was surprised they got through and actually talking to someone. I guess you just, there's some kind of thing when you're processing your return on the app that they phone your house, or they phone you like, within minutes. And or at least in that case, a couple times I've had to do with Amazon, and the phone call is pretty instantaneous. So good for them, but like just terrible. Like, so you're bitching and trying to get through to them, or trying to get Amazon to acknowledge something. That's exactly what I did. So I was on the phone. I'm like, look, I'm going to return this. The return process is simple, but what I wanted was apparently unreasonable. And I guess I'm just an idiot, whatever. I just wanted Amazon to acknowledge that you can't ship records in plastic bags. And I went through like 3 different people in the phone chain. There's like an hour of my life gone trying to prove a point to Jeff Bezos. Just put Jeff on the phone.
Yeah, Jeffy boy.
Jeff's too busy building his penis rocket.
Yeah, right.
So that's, I spent all my time not trying to like get my money back, but like trying to educate them on like, this is a record. You know what a record is and how delicate this is, and you can't put this. And they're like, anyway, it was all for nothing. I didn't get any help. So good segue to what a good company does when they ship. And again, I mentioned Acoustic Sounds before for, just good customer service. You phone them up. I prefer to phone them than like to buy it online, because you get to talk to someone. But like I've gotten more than a few from them. It is a huge ding to the Canadian wallet ordering from them, because the LPs, if you get an Analog Productions title, that's $60, and then so $60 American, and then you do the exchange rate, and then you do your duties, and then your shipping. The shipping used to be cheaper with them, and then it kind of went up a little bit. But this is one of the Doors albums they did, right? So I got 3 or 4 of the Doors albums. I'll eventually own all their versions of it, but everyone just loves their mailers, like Acoustic Sounds, Analog Productions. When they mail something out, it is like bomb proof. Like, compare that to a grocery bag from Amazon. It was just, yeah. Anyway, so there's, another tip, like once you find a company that does it right, they're probably going to keep doing it right. And hopefully companies that do it wrong, like Rhino, have learned. And I've through various streams and videos, I understand that maybe Rhino's kind of caught on, and now their mailers are slightly different. But yeah, once you get a good company and good customer service, good packaging, regardless of the price, it's like, it's reliable. At least I have faith that the product is getting to me. Sure, maybe it'll take some time, but that's maybe out of their control unless I'm paying for expedited shipping. But
Yeah.
you find a good company, find good customer service, find good packaging, and just stick with them. What I'm interested in is right now, especially maybe Rob for you as well. So Mike at the In Groove has changed the way his website is laid out for, like, you can go in there and you can look at the Canadian dollars. And he said something in his video last week, and I haven't fact checked this yet, but basically insinuating that whatever you pay on the website includes everything. Now, I find that hard to believe. I guess that's the face I made. Like,
Yeah.
he says, this is the price at your door. And I'm like, oh, I don't know,
don't
man. Like,
think
isn't
so.
duties something else entirely or what?
Yeah, duties will be something else. He's got no way to tell what the duties is going to be, and he's not going to pay them up front. There's no way.
Yeah. But incidentally, it was good because his shipping method has improved, and it's through DHL. It's a little bit cheaper than your average shipping to Canada. But yeah, anyway, it's tough to find a winner.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to show next. eBay. Again, I come back to eBay because I've had great success, and there's lots of reasons that I love eBay. But again, you've got to be cautious at it. But one of the things I like about eBay, because obviously it's a global platform, I've been able to find some records on eBay. They're not available in this part of the world. So, this is the one example that stuck in my mind instantly when I thought, what's one of my best eBay purchases? And I got Lisa Loeb's Tales. This is not the original from 94, 4, 5, whatever it was. This is the Japanese repress that came out last year and was not advertised anywhere. Was not advertised on her website, was not advertised on her label's website. It was put up by HMV in Japan. There's a Japanese hype sticker there. I have no idea what it says. I don't speak Japanese. I can only count to 10 in Japanese because my son takes karate. But I saw this on eBay. There's 2 listings for it. One day just magically popped up. And I've been looking for an original of this forever and ever. I'm like, well, I'm probably not going to find an original. I'm going to jump on this Japanese repress. I have no idea what it is. It's like clear splattered vinyl. It looks really cool. And I jumped on it. And I'm glad I did. I paid $36 for it, plus like $10 shipping. It's now anytime, and on the rare occasions you see it now, it's $250 by the time you put it in Canadian dollars. It's not listed very often. There's 1 or 2 listings right now on eBay. But it's just one of those things that if I hadn't seen it on eBay, it wasn't anywhere else. It wasn't advertised. They didn't promote this reissue. Lisa's people didn't promote it. It wasn't on our website, anything. It's one of those it's an official release, but it's just one of those weird global things that was released in a certain part of the world that if it had not been for eBay, I wouldn't have this record on vinyl. So one of the things I like about eBay is you find these oddball things that you normally wouldn't have access to. So,
and that's how, I'm actually, there's something I bought from eBay. It was a Nick Drake comp, and I'm still waiting to hear back about the other copy that I bought. But it was one that I'd never see anywhere else. And I know I've only bought probably 4 things on Discogs, too. One of which was a CD copy of Smile by Brian Wilson. And that was one that I wanted for a long time. And Brian Wilson stuff isn't in print, even his CDs, which is wild that you can't get Smile on CD anymore. And actually, that's the case for a lot of the Beach Boys stuff. Like you can even look for, like the 2011, I think, when Smile came out, the box set. Even like the 2 CD version, it's out of print. You can't get it, which is crazy. And like the Pet Sounds 50th, that's gone.
I wonder if it's a rights issue. I think it must be.
The Monkees it's the same with the Monkees. Like they'll put out an album and once it's gone, like they don't repress it. I'm like, you'd think those are all big name group. And even like I've talked about before, Van Morrison, there's a lot of Van Morrison CDs. That's why, or albums that I go out, you have to get them used because that's the only way you can find them. They're usually pretty cheap, but they're out of print. So I don't know. Online helps in that case, Discogs and eBay and Amazon to an extent help with that.
Yep. I'm going to get caught up on some comments here. People who got their UK Rolling Stones pre-orders for the mono LP sets got canceled, got a 5 UK voucher. Wow. That's ridiculous. Was your record in a bag, Jason? Was that Amazon or an independent Amazon seller?
That's a good question, John. I can't recall, but I have had, I shouldn't have shit all over Amazon, but not that they care. But ultimately, I've had records from them, and
Don't they know you're a YouTube sensation? You could turn the masses against them.
Yeah. I got breakfast with Jeff tomorrow. I'll have a heart to heart. But
there you go.
Yeah, I've had some good boxes from Amazon, but I've also had like a record in a huge box, and it was like slamming around, and I like a miracle that there was no seam splits. But all they did was crumple up some brown paper and just put it on top so that it wouldn't go like this.
Jeez.
I don't have great faith that my pre-orders are going to arrive in good shape. Damn it. James had John Coltrane's Giant Steps 2 LP in an Amazon bag. One of the bottom back corners was slightly bent, but I just dealt with it. Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I mean, I haven't had that Amazon issue, but I've received a few records that'll have like a bent corner. I'm like, you know what? It's fine. It's in good. Other than that, it's fine and it plays fine. I'll deal with it. Roy says a lot of my spare time from the 60s to the early 90s was his record buying period, and he'd personally never buy an album unless he can see it. Yeah, I can see the logic behind that. For me, there's a lot of stuff that I'm not going to see in person unless I take the plunge on it. So, and like I said, knock on IKEA wood, haven't been burned yet. So, who's excited for the Who's next box set? Couldn't care less.
I am, but I haven't ordered it. I'm waiting for it to drop as soon as it comes out.
Yeah, I kind of want that pretty badly too.
Amazon is good 95% of the time.
That's about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct, Jason. In regards to InGroove, he's using DHL all-inclusive, so it's all paid up front. I just don't know. I don't think that's no way that includes duty.
I think when you shut down the live stream, Rob, you should just go buy something from the InGroove. Like just buy a record.
Yeah. Why not?
Just buy one.
I think instead I'm going to pre-order the Taylor 1989 variant that's on our website right now instead. James has got the Who box set pre-ordered. Cool. Dan's saying, do you know if the Rhino Cars debut of this year is great sounding one and available at stores?
No, there's only I think they're all 5,000 copies and they're all through Rhino. And actually when I showed earlier the picture from my buddy, that was a new Todd Rundgren. It wasn't part of that series, but it was a Todd Rundgren record that was put out this year. A reissue, but that was a Rhino mailer and it was just thin. And again, he probably spent $35 for it, I would guess, and just tore it up.
Roy says, I guess I was spoiled living in London all my life. So many shops. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yes, Roy, you were spoiled.
Yeah, I don't have them in my area either.
Son.
I remember I went to London when I was 21, I think, or 20 with my girlfriend on spring break. And I went to the Tower Records at Piccadilly Circus. So that was a lot of fun. Let's see here. Cars is only sold through Rhino. Yep. So available in stores. Okay. At times I found records to be better prices than Discogs, even if it's an auction. Yeah.
You just got to rely on the grading and the pictures though on Discogs.
Yep. Yeah, it's. I think, from my experience, I buy more. I actually just bought a load of records tonight on Discogs. There was I have a want list on Discogs, as we all probably do, and there was one of my want list ones that showed up that there was a few listings for it. So I checked on the listings, and they were all international except for one of them, which was a Canadian seller. And he had a thing where he'll ship unlimited records within Canada for $20. So I viewed his inventory and I ended up ordering like 15 records from this guy. Only cost me $100 and it's only $20 for shipping for all like 15 of these records.
What?
That I bought. Yeah. So You know, but anyway, normally I buy more from eBay, but I think generally the Discogs sellers tend to be much more informed than the people on eBay. So I think sometimes you can get better pricing on eBay often because folks don't know what they've got, but then you can also get some higher prices on eBay because people maybe aren't as well versed on what they've got as they maybe should be. But
You know,
yeah.
you raised an interesting point that relates to a video I saw today. There's a channel there. His name is Jason, so it's got to be good. Spins Vinyl. I think he's a relatively newer channel. Chance has been plugging him a fair bit, right? So he did a video today, and it was about Discogs, and basically he was advocating for everyone. He wasn't like telling us what to do, but his idea was if everyone got rid of their Discogs want list, in theory, you know, just simple economics, people wouldn't know what was in high demand. So if something's in high demand,
yeah, that's a good idea.
I know there's a few comments. Mine's one of them in the video where it's like, damn, I feel pretty guilty because obviously I have a want list,
Me
and so
too.
I'm part of that problem, right? And some other guy commented, "I have about 1,000 items on my want list." I'm like, holy crap, right? But so I really like the want list idea, and it's not even just because I buy from Discogs, but it's like a visual reminder. If I get to go to a record store in a town or something, I scroll through that, and make sure the covers are locked into my mind, right? And I know what pressings I want for each individual album. So I like my want list for lots of reasons other than just buying from Discogs. But that was an interesting point though. Like if everyone's logging into Discogs, everyone's putting these items on a want list, it's only going to bring the prices for those items higher.
True.
Yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting thought, that's for sure.
That's very true. Jason, I'll email you the seller that has the $20 Canadian shipping, and I scrolled through his inventory for an hour and a half, and I didn't get all the way through it.
Yeah, please.
He's got a lot of good stuff.
You're gonna put Jason out in the streets if you do that.
Yes.
Come to Ontario. Come to Ontario. I got a spare room.
I love Ontario.
I have a pull-out couch. I'm even one step below that.
Yeah, but you can make me a nice ham.
And you're close to North Carolina barbecue if you
just be thirsty all day.
Roy has both the CD box of Pet Sounds.
Roy, we don't need to know these things because I want both of those things.
Amazon bags can be used for scooping kitty litter. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Cars is a Rhino website exclusive. 5,000 sold out in a week. There's a lot of scam sellers on Discogs. Yeah, there is. There's a ton of them. They're trying to crack down on it, but it has been a problem as of late. And you can generally tell them because for something that is in high demand, they'll sell it at a very cheap price, but you'll notice that they have no buyer feedback. So stay away from those for sure. I found the Cars MoFi to be the weakest of the OG Rhino and MoFi. Marsha saying, Jason, I watched that video and you're right. What do I do about a want list now? Yeah, good question.
I know, Marsha, it sucks.
That is an interesting point about want lists. So we got 15 minutes left. Do we all want to do one more quick one, or do we want to just shoot the breeze? It's up to you guys.
I'm out of albums, but you guys.
Let's talk if you want. I don't know how interested y'all are in the Rolling Stones thing, but you want to talk about that really quick?
You can if you want. I have no interest whatsoever, but you guys can talk about it.
Jason,
well, Sam, tell me what you think, Sam. Like, do you think it's going to be good, or do you think it's just going to be an iconic band put something out, so we all should just buy it and respect it?
So I when I was at work, because they did like a live stream from Hackney today with Jimmy Fallon, and he interviewed the three guys, and that was a really cool interview. It's on YouTube if y'all haven't seen it. Just to hear, I mean, Keith Richards, the coolest dude. I mean, he is just so cool. He does not care what he's doing. But it's a great interview. And I mean, Mick Jagger looks fantastic at 80. And so they were talking about it. And after the thing, I went and listened to the song. I listened to it twice. And it's a very, very good Rolling Stones song. I sent it to my uncle, who is a big Stones fan he loves 70s Stones. and he thought it sounded like some Bridges to Babylon era. And again, the song's called Angry. It's 12 tracks. Somebody mentioned that there are like some guest spots. Well, they kind of slipped today that Lady Gaga's on one song. Obviously, there's been rumors that McCartney and Ringo are on it. I think Stevie Wonder might be on it somewhere.
Wow.
So, and Mick said it was 12 tracks. They recorded, I think, 23. So we know that there's more music out there that they recorded. And 2 of those tracks on the album are Charlie Watts tracks that he recorded. Because they said they started putting it together. They had all the track listing down Christmas, is what Ronnie Wood said, and that it came together very, very fast. I think a big loop around from your original question. I think it's going to be a good album. I don't think it's going to be something like, it's not going to be Exile. It's not going to be Some Girls or anything like that. It's not even going to be Tattoo You. But I think it's going to be a solid 2023 Stones album. And if the tracks are like the one that came out today and the one that came out in 2020, the Living in a Ghost Town, like the COVID song, which was fantastic. I think it's going to be a rocker, and I'm more than happy to have a rock album out in 2023. But do you have any emotions on it?
I think I just want it to be successful for their sake. It would be a shame to see a band, whether you like the band or not, like any iconic group, that has stood the test of time, that's stuck together. Like, you don't want to see them end on a low note. Like, not that they're going to end. Christ, they'll keep going. Probably do another album in about 5 or 7 years. But like any artist that's been around that long, I don't really want any ill will towards them. Like, you know what? Put out an album, sure. Like, good for you. I hope it's good, but I don't think I'll be picking it up just because the back catalog of the Stones is where I want to focus. Like, I need to get those albums. I need to get the Let It Bleed. I need to get Beggar's Banquet. I still don't have those, right? I just have the Hot Rocks comp, which is great, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because I know when Blue and Lonesome came out, I think in 2016, which was the Blues cover album, that was their first album since Bigger Bang, which was 2005. So at that point, you'd already had 11 years, which was the longest period of time between albums, and it was just a bunch of their influences. But if you listen to that, and I was like, I'm gonna get that album, and then it came out, I never bought it, I still don't have it. But Mick Jagger's harmonica playing on it is superb. I mean, I know Keith compares him to some of their blues greats that played. So I'm just right now, I'm saying I'm gonna buy it because I think I am, especially since Charlie died, and it's like I've since Blue and Lonesome came out, I've actually purchased Stones albums. I don't think I had any Stones albums. I know I didn't have any Stones albums in 2016. So now I'm I've got more Stones records, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it again. I'm not jumping the gun to pre-order it. I'm gonna get it in the store, but I'm excited. I'm happy that it's coming. I really am. I'm glad that Charlie has his fingerprints on it. And Steve Jordan is a fantastic drummer. I love him too. With John Mayer, he plays in the John Mayer trio, and he played in the Expensive Winos with Keith. So he's got chops. So I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I'll stop there. I know Rob is.
You got an impressive knowledge of the Stones. Good for you. Holy crap!
And I'm not even. They're probably not even in my top 10 favorite bands. But anyway, are we gonna get a peek of Harry's music room? I've never met Harry.
Harry wants to join us for a few minutes. Come on up, Harry.
Oh,
I put the link there for you.
I love Harry. Yeah.
I caught up on a few comments before Harry joins us. John wants to know if anyone owns Beck's Mutations on vinyl. Not me.
I commented that I need to get some Beck on vinyl. Like he's another one of those artists that's so unique, right? Hey, Harry.
Hey, Harry, how you doing?
So I wanted to know if anybody else has seen or heard about. They were working on a 3-album comp of unreleased stuff, and it got leaked online, and right away they shut it down. But I was able to get a Japanese bootleg of the release.
Wow.
But look at these titles. If you can, I hope you
see if I can make you big here. Hold on.
Okay, that's It's at least zoomed in.
How do I do that here? Oh, hold on.
Tech support. Tech support.
There you
There we
go.
go.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know those songs.
And these are all studio finished songs that are perfect quality.
From what era? Like their whole career?
It goes from 85, 79, 82, 77. I mean, 1970. They've got one called Tell Her How It Is from 1970. And this thing sounds great. But I don't know. It was going to be released, and then all of a sudden you didn't hear anything more about it after it got leaked.
So, Harry, what do you, and first of all, Harry, it's very nice to actually talk to you face to face.
Yeah, you too, Sam.
It's a long time coming. What do you think of the new Stones? Did you watch the interview?
I haven't heard it or know anything about it. I mean, I'll buy it, obviously, because it's the Rolling Stones. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. Like I said, the song's called Angry. And if you have the time, it's again, like, I don't even think it's a full 30 minutes, because when you look at it on YouTube, it says it's about 30 minutes. But the first 5 minutes are like the countdown for the live stream to start. So
okay.
It's with Jimmy Fallon, and again, it's with the three guys, and it's a fun interview. The three of them kind of joking back and forth.
Yeah, I have to watch it after this.
But they say that it's got, well, Mick said there's there's obviously rock and blues, and there's even some country type songs on
Good.
there. So.
I like the stuff they do when it's country.
I do too. I even love Faraway Eyes. I think.
Me too. I love that song.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, I just wanted to see if you guys knew anything about this.
No, I mean that. I know the Stones are the kings of the comps and the live albums, so I wouldn't be surprised if it did get swept under the rug.
Okay, and it's on Voodoo Records.
Well, with the dash in the middle, yeah.
Okay, thanks for letting me up for a minute.
Good to see you, Harry.
Talking to you.
See ya.
Take care.
And then Jason ran away.
He must not like Harry.
All right. There he is. There he is.
Oh, I love Harry. I love Harry, but I just had to step out for a
I
second.
don't even remember where we were in the comments here. So,
Jason, what's the next video idea?
Oh, well, I can't share that information. I was supposed to film one today. Tomorrow, I'm going to put one up. Tomorrow.
Your camera crew didn't show up today. They're on strike.
Well, yes. It was a buddy of mine had lent me a microphone to use, and I spent all this time trying to learn about this microphone to incorporate in the video, and then I literally put a half hour into watching other YouTube videos how to use this microphone. And I realized, well, I can't use it because I'm filming on an iPhone. I can't plug this bloody thing into an iPhone. So I wasted all this time. And before I knew it, I had to go get the kids from school. So I was like, all right, well, this is now a tomorrow project. But
I got a mic like that for my sister last Christmas, and I was so excited. But then I realized it's a USB plug-in. So I would use it for live streams, even though I'm not using it tonight. But I'm like, I can't. It doesn't Bluetooth or anything.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's I forget. It's Blue something is the company name, but it's a pretty common microphone. But yeah, again, USB. So whatever. I need to invest in a computer.
I film on an iPhone too, and I have a little mic, but I don't ever use it because I didn't think it made any difference in the sound quality. Whenever I'm doing a live stream, I have a microphone. Yeah. I'm using it right now.
That's awesome.
I did it because when I started doing episodes for the Vinyl Community podcast, I needed the audio to sound a little bit better. So one of these days I'll figure out a microphone for my phone, but whatever.
Yeah. I'm fine with the way it is now. It was just the guy offered. I'm like, I'll figure it out and see if this works.
Yeah.
Nope.
So a new video tomorrow. Your first two have done incredibly well.
Yeah, that first one was definitely a hit based on the fact that it was the most popular thread the VC's ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
You were, let me just see how you're doing here. It's, I mean, holy shit, man. You had almost 4,000 views on that for your first video out of the gate.
I've never had a video hit 2,000 views. So
wow.
Look at you.
Do that thread. It's still going strong.
After two videos, see, I read this statistic and it pisses me off because I know how damn hard I work.
I'm looking at them now.
2 videos and Jason's at 248 subs already. 2 videos.
248. I gained some over the stream. Thanks, everybody.
So
And
when
I've
you
lost
be-
them.
They jumped ship.
they jumped over to Jason. When you become bigger than Norman Maslov, just remember who encouraged you to start this thing.
Yeah.
I think people like the cozy decor of the cabin.
Yeah, I should
You
rename
feel like
the
a
channel
kind old hermit.
Log Home Records. Yeah.
Oh, Harry just subbed you, so now you're at 249.
Sweet. Thanks, Harry. You're a
All
gem.
joking aside, man, congratulations. I mean, your 2 videos have been fantastic. You're
I think
good
this
at
is a
it.
blast. I regret not doing it sooner. And you two fellows and Chance were big supporters. And it's such a blast, like interacting in the comments and getting even more recommendations for music. And yeah, the day is too
Let me
short.
ask you this. You're probably like me. I get excited about doing this stuff. And then I say something to my wife and she just rolls her eyes like I'm a lunatic.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
You get the same thing?
there's so many eye rolls. There's probably a lot of migraines in the house because of the amount of eye rolling that's happening. But yeah, no, it's been fun. It's been fun. I can't wait to do more. And like every once in a while, I come up with an idea and then I'll just throw it in my notes section on my phone. And so I have like 3 or 4 kind of ideas. None of them are like that great. I think I really want to do a thread, or probably maybe if I ever lucky enough to approach the 500 number, I'd do a contest or whatever. But the threads are fun because it just really gets people interacting that much more, right? And,
yeah, I've got a good idea that I hope a couple people jump on because it's humorous. I'll email you guys about it privately, and hopefully you'll be inclined to do it as well, and you'll understand the humor in it, and I think it'll be hilarious. I don't care if any more than 3 or 4 of us do it, but I just think you'll understand when I send you guys the email. I think
I'm excited.
I'll be up all night unless you send it to me.
Well, I'll send it to you momentarily as soon as we get off. But
hopefully, it doesn't involve taking my shirt off like Steve at all the world's stage.
It does not. But let's just say it pokes a little bit of fun at the Don Henley of our group.
Yeah, right.
But in a nice, loving way. I think it'll be fun. So
right.
But
I had an idea. Well, when I don't know if you guys were watching Rich Strickler back when he was doing like him and Brian Massey and Doc were recasting movies with modern actors.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
I think it was either on Rich's channel or Brian's, but we kind of joked. Rich and I, we used to do live streams together, just him and I, and I kind of joked that we should recast the VC with actors. So like, who would play Glenn Kellaway? Who would play, Rob? And so we thought about it for a little bit, but we didn't want it to come across as mean. Like if it's an actor that somebody just hates, so you have to kind of toe that line. But we were kind of like naming people off camera, like who would play who, like who would play Randy Nelson, who would play, Larry Graves, like that kind of thing. So
that's awesome. Oh man, that has to happen. There's got to be a way to make that.
Jeff
happen.
Witcher and Chris and Aaron, those guys.
That would be funny.
Of course, Steve would be, some heartthrob, like George Clooney or Chris Evans or somebody.
Yeah.
Now your wheel.
Yeah, that was my first thought too. Yeah.
or Steve Buscemi,
Yeah, that's more like it. That's more like it.
Yeah,
it's more like it.
But
what do you got coming up next, Sam? Anything you want to let folks know about?
Yeah, I just posted a concert review earlier today for a show that I went to last night. It's a group called Camp. The opener was one of my favorite female singer-songwriters named Dory Freeman. If you like, she's kind of like Brandi Carlile before Brandi Carlile. I think she's better than Brandi Carlile, to be honest with you, but really, really, really great stuff. I think you would like her, Rob. She's actually from about 2 hours south of me, but she's really become big in like the festival circuit. Still hasn't hit her big moment yet, but I think it's coming. So I did that. Hopefully at some point I'm doing another one of those kind of discussions about how I got into a band. I know I want to do 2 or 3 that I know for sure that I still want to do. And then after that, it's going to come down to if I can fill out a video with, an artist or 2, but a couple of those, I might do an album review. I'm kind of here and there about album reviews, but the big thing is I'm trying to get to 900 subscribers.
You're gonna do it.
And
Tonight's
Those that
night.
haven't subscribed to Sam St. John, do it.
yeah, I did have one person subscribe earlier, I think at the beginning of the stream, but then it dropped back down to 892. So here we are. But anyway, I've got stuff coming up always. I just, you know, some weeks are a little bit shorter than others with content, but I put up a few this week. Like I said, I just did the concert review. I did my August finds, which I always split up into 2 videos with CD and vinyl. So 3 videos in about 3 days now. So just go check those out.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
I just did my flea market video the other day, and I'm going to do the humorous one that I'm going to tell you guys about. And I'm going to do a video towards the end of the week. Not to sound somber, because it's not intended to be that way, but next week is the 14th anniversary of my dad's sudden, unexpected passing. And he is the reason that I am a music fan and a record collector. And that's a pretty significant bond that he and I share. So I'm going to, sort of in honor of him, I'm going to do a video of albums that were his, that I still own, that were important to him, that are also important to me. And
Cool.
you know, what that common thread is. So it's not going to be a sad, depressing video, but I just like to pay homage to the old man who, you know, I'm looking at 2 pictures of him hanging on my wall. He's kind of, it feels like he's always here with me. This, you know, music was our thing. So I think that would be a nice kind of, you know, memorial, if you will. So that's coming out.
That'll be
next week
great.
as well.
You'll do a good job of that. You always have a good level of emotion in your videos. Like, I think that's one of your strengths for your videos, is it's easy
thanks.
to connect with you. Yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate that. That. So, and I also appreciate that no one gave me shit about my Taylor Swift video. So thank you, everybody.
And I guess I will speak on behalf of the regular committee of live streaming. Thank you, Rob, for hosting 2 out of the 3 weeks that Glenn's been gone. I know last week we took a break, but you know, not sure what Glenn's schedule is for next week, but it's been nice keeping it going.
Yeah. I've been, listen, I don't know about you guys, but this is one of the things I very much look forward to every week, and it was good that we could keep it going. And you know, I think we had a couple good discussions. I really enjoyed this one because, you know, not a lot of discussion goes on about buying stuff online, and for me, that's a big part of record shopping. So, thanks for joining me, guys. I really appreciate it. So,
yeah, it's been a blast. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Well, in recap, everybody, please subscribe to Sam St. John if you don't already, because he's shooting for 900 subs. Jason doesn't need any more subscribers because he's out of the gate like a.
He's got too much time ahead of him. Yeah.
Jesus. He doesn't need any help. But Jason Arsenault, for everyone that doesn't know Jason, he's new, but we're proud of our newborn here. So, that's everything, guys. Thank you for joining me, and thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next week on Glenn Calloway from the Basement.
All right.
Good
Thanks
to see
so
you
much.
guys. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.